Well, I mean, I came from a nice. I mean, I don't know if the States is definitely a nice country. I don't know if it's a beautiful. There's places that are beautiful. LA is cool, beaches, but it's not like this. Like this. I mean, I guess it's always the grass is always greener, right? So coming from Los Angeles, living in Los Angeles, I take the beaches for granted, and I'm not really by the beach. I'm in the valley, so it's like kind of ugly. This is gorgeous. Like this, we do not have this. We don't have the history. We don't have culture.
Hello. Hey.
Freud.
Thank you.
I was almost gonna hit his head. But so I went from LA to a beautiful city. We're under a bridge, so I don't know. Dark danger zone. My favorite thing about conventions, I mean, there's tons of stuff. I mean, the cheat answer is being able to show fans appreciation for the love that they show us, and I do mean that. But the real answer is I genuinely enjoy the meet and greets and things like this, where I get to talk one-on-one, or actually get to show my personality and get to know their personality and like the questions, and we get to banter back and forth. I actually get to know them. Whereas, don't get me wrong, I love pictures. I don't really like autographs because I always get scared I'm gonna mess up their name or ruin their picture. But it's such a quick, no matter how much time you try to, or how special you try to make it, it's still only a minute, and then it's the next one, Whereas at least like this, it's a little more chill. Or in the meet and greets, you get to actually like, hey, I'm Ryan. Where are you from? What do you do? How long did it take you to get here? You know, how many conventions? You know, you get to know them, and that's my favorite part, is getting to know them when it's not just a robotic line. Next. I like to actually have interactions.
Good question. Good answer. So you're going to conventions and you're the actor, but if you could go to a convention for a series or a movie yourself, what kind would you go to?
It's funny, we get this question a lot, and it's always a tough thing because I live in Los Angeles, so actors and stuff like that don't necessarily interest me because I'm around them all the time. You know, in LA, I audition against them. We go to events, they're there. At conventions, they're there with me. So what I would say is, like, I would go for athletes. Athletes are something that fascinate me, and I would love to. You know, I'm fascinated with that, so I would definitely go for athletes. In terms of movies, maybe like a writer or a director, I would go see him, but there's not. But in terms of like a show, I mean, when we do events for Teen Wolf and things like that, we're always running everything. Like, I could sit here and say I love Game of Thrones, but I've met a lot of those actors already, so I don't know if I'd go to a convention because I've met them all. But yeah, the dumb answer is that I'd do it for sports, for athletes. I mean, I grew up in Chicago, so Michael Jordan was like one. Then I moved to Los Angeles, Kobe Bryant. So yeah, I love basketball stars. And so like probably Kobe Bryant, probably my favorite athlete. I would love to be able to sit down and talk to him one-on-one for an hour. I mean, my favorite actors are, like, my three favorite are probably like Denzel Washington, Leonardo DiCaprio, and maybe Will Smith. I'd wait in line for them to like see them speak at a seminar or something. Totally. There's way too many, but I mean you can go all in. So as an actor, it depends on the type of film you want. Like, I could sit here and say I could pick Michael Bay's brain forever just on talking about how to make a film as mega and just massive as he does on certain films. Like, he's one of the fun that just popped in the top of my head just because it was like, man, I would love to ask him, like, how do you sit down and approach a project and make it as big as you do? Whoa, this one's really short. Just because that's what he's known for. Michael Bay is more famous than a lot of the actors he has in his projects, and that's because he's just extravagant. So I'd love to sit down and talk with him about that. How did that happen? What do you do? What's your thought process? What makes you tick? Again, same questions as Kobe. What makes you get out of bed in the morning and make it organic and just go from there? I just like to pick his brain. Just, what makes him tick. Like, just having a normal conversation with him. Obviously there'd be the typical questions like what makes you get up in the morning, or you ask about some of like the myths that you hear. Are those actually true? And you try to pick his brain. But it really just like the same thing when I sit here and have conversations with you guys or whatever. It's getting to know them, getting a feel for them. Sometimes that works out in your favor, where you're like, wow, you want to know more. And sometimes you meet people where you start talking to them and you're like, oh, I'm not that interested in you. You know, it's like that's the fun part, is trying to pick their brain and see what makes them tick. So I'd have guidelines, but at the most part I would like to keep it organic and let it flow naturally. I guess the pursuit of happiness. I like doing things that make me happy. I like, work is work, but if you can try to mix the two of them and do things that you love and get out of bed for reasons that bring you happiness, I think that's the goal. And trust me, everyone has days where work is work. Well, we have our bad days, but the goal is to try to get through those days to be around loved ones, friends, family, doing things, vacation. Like one of the reasons I became an actor is I think life is meant to be enjoyed. I don't want to work to death. I want to enjoy life. I don't want to be, hopefully I live till I'm 80 or maybe older, and I don't want to live and regret being like, oh, I work too much. I don't want to do that. I want to be around family and friends. It's the most important thing about life. Well, this summer's been kind of crazy. I just finished a project in Utah. I was doing a film there. I can't really talk about it yet because it's still in the works. But it's another short one. Oh, that was really short. And so now we've been doing a lot of conventions, which is good. So traveling, getting to show love to fans. But the summer's always slow. So unless you're already on a show, if you're not working, it's sort of the slow season, which is good for conventions because there's no pressure. But so when I get back, it's back to the drawing board. It's back to auditioning, back to the ups and downs of being an actor, the roller coaster, and finding that next job. Always a hustle. I told this to Holland one time, and then she stole my idea and put Ian in instead of me. And then she was like, "No, this is my idea. It's my idea." So, but it would work with Ian too. It'd be really good with Ian. But so it'd be Lydia and Parrish open up a private eye company. So it's basically Supernatural, but people. And it's like, we solve crime. So we're he's swimming. I thought, is the water clean? With the boats? Yeah. There's places that are clean, but around the boats, yeah, they're crazy. Good for him though. But so it'd be a spin-off. It'd be like Private Eye Parrish and Lydia, like they open up a private eye company and they investigate things in Beacon Hills. And then, you'd have the old characters like Ian, or, well, not Ian, his character, or Argent coming back, and into the sheriff had moved on, but from time to time I still calls him and things like that. So it
You're stealing your thumb there.
What? Well, there he's about to jump in. But that's what it would be.
Describe it like that. Is that good? Don't do that. Okay. That's good. You can't do that.
But yeah, so it'd be that. In Universal Studios, the theme park. Well, now it's Harry Potter Land.
Okay.
Can't go wrong with that. But old school, I like the Indiana Jones ride. As a kid, that was something I always loved. It's still magical and still amazing. No, that's at Disney, right? I'm mixing it up now. Indiana Jones is that's at Disney. I'm thinking of.
Indiana Jones at Disney.
Indiana Jones at Disney. What am I thinking? Universal. Yeah, so Harry Potter and then the Jurassic. That's okay. I'm mixing up the dinosaurs with the ride. It's the Jurassic Park ride, the water ride. When it gets hot, so like it's nice to get a little cool when you go on that. That ride's definitely amazing. They have the Waterworld show that I remember as a kid that I still love to go see. It's really cool. I'm not so like. Now they have a bunch of new rides like that are all 3D and stuff, and I get super motion sickness, so I can't hang. So I can't do the Harry Potter ride because it's like those 3D glasses make me want to vomit. And then the Transformer ride, same thing. I can't hang, so I got to do the old classic rides. I like the Frozen one better than the. But that's honestly my favorite. Just going into the hall and eating like. I bought the massive meal for just one person, and I barely ate any of it, but I just did it to do it. And it's the the handwork in all of like the ceilings and everything, the intricacies is amazing. It's phenomenal. It's so cool. I went on it probably 3 years ago, and I didn't get wet at all. And I was like, oh, you don't. And then I went a year ago, and that's what I saw because it wasn't like hot, but it wasn't cold, but it was, I didn't want to get wet. And my friend that I went with, I was showing him around LA, and they're like, you don't want to get wet. And I was like, trust me, you don't get wet. I was on this like last year, you don't get wet at all. Drenched, have like shoes soaking wet, and it wasn't warm out, and they were so pissed at me, and I was like, I don't know what happened last year. Not a drop of water on me. We were like covered, and I was like, yeah, that was a mistake.
Wow.